Huh? Sorry? Yeah, we will install it. It's a coat.
First the back?
Yeah, first the back, it's
Okay.
easier.
So, empezamos con ese. ¿Me decís el número?
Well, we just have to make sure that they're
If that happens, we'll just put a note next to the section, you know, and place it as close as possible.
Esto está bien. ¿Es posibilité en la sala pasarela? The idea of the exhibition, in fact, was initiated by the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts in 2008 when the director met with Jean-Paul Gaultier, Nathalie Bondil, and she wanted to create an exhibition about Gaultier's talent and more a celebration. And Gaultier often refused to have exhibition on his work because he was a bit apprehensive about having an exhibition made about his work that would look like a funeral exhibition. So in fact this exhibition is created more like a contemporary installation, and it's not a chronological order, it's really the passions and the obsessions of Gaultier through the years from his childhood to until now. And also, so that's why it's different themes that are very strong in Gaultier's work since the beginning. So it's corsetry, the skin, the different tribes, Paris, London, all of this that is mixed together. And what is interesting is that you can see that in fact in Gaultier's work, even if you see pieces from 1971 or pieces from 2000 or 1985, everything is timeless. You can see that his fashion is so avant-garde and so fast-forward because he doesn't follow trends, he initiates them. The idea also behind that was to give access to couture, because haute couture is only showed to the few privileged ones who work in the fashion industry, or even to princesses and actresses, but usually the general public don't have a close access like we have now to haute couture, so there's wonderful pieces that have never been shown to the public. The title of the exhibition, De la calle a las Estrellas, or From the Sidewalk to the Catwalk in English, it comes from Jean-Paul Gaultier from 1976 when he did his first prêt-à-porter collection. He had no money, obviously, but he really wanted to do fashion, so he decided to take friends, but there were a few models, but he also took, everybody was working with him, and even now he still does street casting. Even at one point he placed an ad in the newspaper in Paris inviting street people to come so he could find these different kind of beauties, and he discovered so many different models. So from the sidewalk to the catwalk, that explains also that Jean-Paul Gaultier, rather than being a fashion designer that is inspired directly by fashion, he's more inspired by the street and by, in fact, how people wear things in the street that are not necessarily fashionable, but he will take them and Gaultierize them. I think Jean-Paul Gaultier has a very important place in fashion history and also in pop culture history, because he brought so much to fashion just by being so open-minded to different kinds of beauties, because he doesn't believe in only one type of beauty, neither on the codes that are in fact imposed by fashion magazines and the fashion universe, that all the stereotypes that were created through the medias. That some different atypical beauties, even if you have a big nose or if you're effeminate, you can be as attractive as any model. And he always pushed this very forward in his fashion shows, in his advertising, using very different kind of beauties, but also to show acceptance. And it's really a message of tolerance when you look at Jean-Paul Gaultier's work. Just take, for example, when he created the skirt for men, it was maybe not well perceived, but in a way it was not about making men look feminine, because when you look at historically, you know, there was the kilt, the samurai wore skirts, you know, skirts, robes, everything, and it was not about being feminine, but in fact it can look very masculine to wear a kilt or to wear a skirt for men. And even his first dress was just inspired by some waiters in the cafes and in the brasseries in Paris that wear these long aprons. The collection that Paul Gaultier did that had the most impact socially, in fact there's many, but one that comes to my mind first is probably the Chic Rabbis collection, which was a tribute to Hasidic Jews. And this collection was a bit misunderstood by the general public and the critics, even though many critics were very supportive and many artists were very supportive and wore the clothes from this collection. But it was, Gaultier wanted in fact to pay tribute to Hasidic Jews, because the idea came when he was in New York City and he was coming out of a taxi cab and he just saw some rabbis coming out of the New York Public Library, and he thought they were so elegant with the long coats and with the shramel hats and with the fur and everything. He wanted to recreate the same emotion when he saw them. He won't do a collection to laugh at a group of people, because he himself felt as a minority when he was young, and because some kids were making fun of him because they thought he was effeminate and all that. So he understands this side of it. So it's more about opening the eyes of society, and in fact he created a society in which we can dream we would live in, where everybody accepts everyone, whatever your age, skin tone or origins or even your sexuality, because that's the urban jungle that Gaultier represents on his catwalk.